Hey guys, John coming at you another Watcher of Realms video. All right, so as you can see here, we do have the arena pulled up. I have been gone a little bit. I was actually traveling to Connecticut for a job this past week, and I got stuck there until Sunday because of the weather. So I'm really far behind on making videos and getting content done. But I wanted to go ahead and get this recorded because one, there was a major change to the arena that happened not too long ago. And as you can see here, it is the Chaotic Season beta. And that's because they're kind of collecting data. And I wanted to talk about it briefly because honestly, I don't know if you guys saw my video before. I made a video where I said, hey, you know what? Arena is actually fun. And I gotta say, I gotta double down on it because now with these new changes, I feel like the meta shifted. And to me, that's what's important. Like keeping the action alive, not having the same stale meta type of deal. So I really enjoy it. So stay tuned. I'll kind of give you my pros, cons, how I feel about the arena, and feel free to leave comments down below. How do you guys feel about the new revamped arena? How are you guys enjoying the changes to the game? I would love to hear from you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dive into it. Now I am a little bummed. I saw that we had the Duel Champions event, so I just literally started doing arena all day today, passively when I could. And then it dawned on me, oh crap, I've never made a video talking about it. As you can see here, we do have a loss right here. And if we go to my, what is this? My results. Yeah. You can see that I have been fluctuating up and down. You can see the win rate up here is 62.5%. and 50% loss on defense. If you guys recall the video I made a few months back when I was like, you know what, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, I actually enjoy arena and Watcher of Realms. I believe my win rate there was almost 80-90%. And I think the few losses that I really had were kind of like dumb moments where I was like, oh, probably shouldn't have fought that one, whatever the case may be. Now with this new mechanic, as you can see here, I'm punching up, I'm punching down. Like I've taken a loss from 280K down here. Like there's no shot that I should lose to this, but I did all day. But then here's a 375 and I won this one, no problem, right? So the gap in, let's see, like what you think you should be able to do, right? Like if you're just going off the points here, because that's what a lot of us do, right? You just say, hey, you know what? Their team looks pretty much better than mine. Or, oh, this team looks so much worse than mine. It's going to be fine. And you kind of get baited. Like, honestly, you could get baited. But what I like about this is the simple fact that because of the change in the way the arena is, now it's not so much about, like before it was about blocking enemies, stopping them from damaging your crystal, so that way you can win, or that way you would win it, right? Like, okay, so not only did you stop them from getting to your crystal, but you knocked them out faster than your opponent, right? That was the philosophy of it, is do as much DPS as possible, but it wasn't a matter of if the opponent had a really fast round, then you were just really hosed like you are now. It was more of hey, there's two enemies left, you're gonna eat the ether, right? So I really like that change because I feel like that makes everyone play a little bit more aggressively. And it kind of takes away that feeling of oh, I put in an amazing tank. If let's say, I'm going to just cue this up real quick. If I threw in my Brokir here, right? And I said, okay, I'm just going to block everything and then slowly peg it away or whatever the chance may be. It could take a little long to build up that type of a strategy, and it could work in the old method, right? It could work in the old method, especially if someone had slower DPS, or if you're just trying to focus on, blocking, containing everything. Whereas in this one, if you proc an ultimate and your enemy forgot to proc their ultimate and their wave, and you kill the wave, well, then they have to finish killing their monsters to finish the fight. Right, so it keeps it very diverse. So we'll go ahead. We're going to hop into this battle. I should win this battle. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do that one because that one I should win that one fairly easy. I feel like let's pick a different one. I feel like that one's going to be a pretty easy win. I want one that's not quite as easy, so that way the battle can go on a little bit. This one would definitely be a hard one. Let's go ahead. Let's just pick this one. We'll see how this goes. As you can see here, I'm running a pretty balanced team. I am definitely using Cerberus. If you don't have Cerberus, I definitely Trox is very, very good. I just noticed that I don't get as much damage from him, and when I run duplicates, it's just a waste. Honestly, it really is with my Cerberus compared to him. So what I run is fairly simple. I'll show you my strategy. Maybe this will help you guys too, but this is what I really enjoy about it. So one, you'll notice I have Hatsit, right? They also do. So I'm curious to see where they play him. What I like to do when I come out here, and we're going to go ahead and put this in 1x speed. Okay. So they're going to come out here. We can get Hatsit played right now. So I like to place her on this side at the bottom. The reason being is because if you notice her range, right? So when you drop her down here, now she's straight up in front of the well. Also, the edge of the field is on the left there. So when you use her ultimate ability, it's going to go all the way around here. So what I like to do is I get her queued up like this, right? Wait until they get about right there, and then boom, go ahead and proc that ultimate. Should wipe out at least, if not all of them, at least all of them but the one, and then the one just got to get the little battle there. As you can see, the enemy did the same thing, but mine killed him first. So that was a plus, right? That's huge. Now the next wave, right? So when you look at the enemy, they're going to start taking them out from here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wait. They are going to do a lot of damage to me right now. I may lose this match, and this is where I enjoy this aspect of it, right? Because I have to make the option. Do I start attacking here? Do I start attacking here? When, at what point do I start attacking, right? Especially when you look at the enemy team. So for me, I wait until they get about right here. I throw in my Cerberus. I let him do his AoE because you just deployed him, right? And then he's going to put his pool down. At that point, everyone should basically die right about now. And I saved the ultimate from Hatsit. So now you can see I won that round. Oh, this may be a bad one. They're not gonna kill them all, unfortunately. But then at that point, I'd wait until I got around here. The next wave would come out, and then I'd come over here, throw this guy in here because I would use his passive ability, which then will cause frost damage as they're going, kind of slow down the teams. What that does is that allows me to get the ultimate up of Cerberus. That allows me to get my ultimate back from Hatsit very, very quickly. And then I can go ahead and burst it down. But I love the simple fact that, yes, even though given the energy, eventually a champion will get played on the right-hand side. If this just went on without that extra little attack here, what would happen is they would lose a lot of points, but they wouldn't have lost that entire game or that entire match off that one round, right? It would have taken them a few more rounds, so to speak, and really drug out the process. So I feel like since they made this change, it's a lot quicker. And as you can see here, it was just a matter of damage, right? Like we did a little bit more damage. Had they done almost 2 mil or a little bit more damage as well with their Hatsit, it would have been totally fine for them. And we won no problem. It's very hit and miss. It's all about the strategy. And I do love the simple fact that they did make it about the strategy. It's not so much about attacking other champions like Guild War, which Guild War is great. But it's more about, okay, what's the strategy looking like? What kind of opponent are you facing, right? Like when you're looking at an opponent, you can say, hey, I'm going to burst this person down and they don't have the bandwidth in their team to catch up. That's a viable option with this new method. However, if you are someone who's like, you know what, I don't quite have that ability, but I got the champions, you can, in theory, sack a couple of rounds, barely keep up, and then really take off and go. That's usually how I get beat most of the time, and it's a good strategy as well, but it keeps you on your toes. I was so used to just clicking and autoing and getting, like, I was staying Platinum 3 all day long, no problem. I don't know that I ever made it, honestly, past that. I think I tried a little bit vaguely. I think I vaguely tried to get to Overlord, but not very hard. Not gonna lie to you. It's not something that I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get to. I'm kind of fine to stay in Platinum 3. The rewards are good. They're both good regardless, right? Like you're gonna get good rewards. Obviously Overlord, getting the ancient summoning crystals, those are best, but I've got pretty good champions as it is. I'm not really too worried about it unless for the new champions coming, but it's just been a lot of fun and interesting. And it also just shakes up the meta. That I think I'm really, really, really happy about because when you start looking at champions, right, and you go here and you say, okay, well, what kind of arena did they got going on, right? Like these arena rankings from before versus now are going to be a little bit different, right? Like, honestly, they're going to be a little bit differently, and they definitely got affected by this change. And that's also kind of nice because then people can't just say, hey, I'm just going to look at this and call it a day, right? But yeah, it's definitely been a lot more enjoyable. I already was a fan of the arena, and now with this change, I've become more of a fan. I'm not going to lie, but it definitely keeps you on your toes. It's not quite as easy as it was, honestly, but it is a lot of fun. I do like, you get your defensive teams here. I do like that you kind of get to get these set up, but it's just one of those situations where it's like, oh, sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. What are you going to do, right? It's going to depend on how you played. I also like it when you start to do auto battles, right? Like, let's say that battle there, I won the first 2 battles and I did an auto battle. Well, then my defense isn't locked in that position, right? So then that kind of switches up your defense. So it's going to keep you going back and forth, and really maintaining a knowledge base of like, hey, I used this strategy for a quick battle against this opponent, and now that's my defense. Or I know this long tried and true method works, and you got to try to apply that when it's your last battle. And I feel like that aspect of it too definitely attributes to winning and losing, because a lot of people aren't paying attention to that. They're going to go ahead, they're going to go ahead and do their fight, they're going to win, they're going to lose, and then they're going to forget that's the team that's locked in when they go to defend, or if they go to auto battle. So you start to auto battle, and let's say the opponent beats out a clip of enemies just a smidge faster than you, and you're using like a slower strat. So now you're waiting, 5-10 seconds before you play your next champion, when you should play your cheaper champion first. Go ahead and get that DPS out there, because you're about to lose from the constant damage coming because they beat you to the punch. Those types of aspects I feel like really add to the arena. I don't really feel like it takes it away from it. Honestly, I really enjoy the changes. Some of them are a little bit broken, some of them aren't. I can definitely say meta is going to be speed, right? Like, just like a lot of games out there where speed is king, in this case, the arena, speed's king. Speed and DPS. Like, can you go really fast with destroying the enemies? That's what I mean by speed. Like, is your Hatset just broken with damage and fire has massive attack speed and DPS? If not, well, then you're on the slow bus, and then you're probably going to lose. But yeah, overall in general, really enjoy it. I like the change they made, and I look forward to seeing how they switch it up more. I do also, I'm curious, how do you guys feel about it? From one, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, two, I love that it says it's in beta. Like, how long is this going to be in beta for? Because I missed the memo. Like, is this going to be implemented? Are we going to call this like, hey, this is it? Is it not going to be it? I would love to hear your guys' feedback. Maybe you saw it and I missed it, because with everything going on in my life, I don't necessarily keep up on everything. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.